So we will start in a seated position this morning. Sukhasana, if that feels good, but truly any seat that allows you to sit up nice and tall. And then also, you have the option to sit on a blanket or a pillow if it feels a little bit more comfortable to allow some space for your hips. But whatever seat works good for you, take a second to just find your way there. And then if it feels nice, close your eyes down or just soften your gaze. And then give your body and your mind a moment to just come to your mat. As you start to settle in, take a moment to just readjust anything that you found any slight discomfort in. And then once you feel like you've got a good, comfortable seat, bring a little life into your spine. So think about drawing upward through the crown of your head and then let your shoulders soften down away from your ears. So it's a little bit more active and upright posture. And then once you've found this more active and upright posture, if you can keep your eyes closed, cool. If you need to open your eyes, that's totally okay. You'll get the same amount of work, but with the eyes closed, you'll just feel a little bit more sensation rather than a visual effect as well. So keeping this upright posture, shoulders softened down, not moving your head, not moving anything else, just turn your eyes and look your eyeballs to the right. So you're going to turn your eyes to the right, keeping your eyelids down if you can, and just sort of tune in and feel that gentle bit of movement behind the eyelids, the little activation of the muscles in the eyes. Turning your eyes to the right and holding that position, take one more moment. And then keeping your head steady, keeping your eyelids down, return your eyeballs to center. And then when you're ready, turn your eyes to the left, just your eyeballs, keeping your eyelids down if you can, keeping your head stationary if you can, holding that position for a moment, and then return your eyeballs to center. Everything else stays as stationary as it can. And then keeping that steady position, eyeballs are going to look upward, but try to keep your eyelids down if you can. And then return your eyeballs to center, but the eyelids stay down and everything else stays stationary. And then keeping that stationary position, eyeballs are going to look down. Hold it for a moment. And then release back to center. And then just take a second to kind of wriggle out your shoulders to release any tension you may have come across to hold that steady position and just turn your eyeballs. And then once you feel like you've got everything kind of loosened up, take a moment to flip your palms, palms open facing the sky. Notice the cool air on your skin. Take a nice gentle breath in. Slow breath out. On your next inhale, gather your hands, one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly, and then pause here for a moment and tune into your breath. Take a generous inhale, fill your lungs up, let your belly expand with the breath. Exhale nice and slow, just a nice natural exhale, letting all that air go, but take your time. Inhale a nice full breath, fill your lungs up. Imagine you're drawing your breath down to the bottom of your lungs. And a slow but natural exhale. Take about 3 more cycles of breath here, just tuning into your breath's rhythm. And then before we move away from this place, take a moment here to set an intention to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice, never doing anything in your practice that would cause your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. And with that intention set, keep your hand stacked on top of your heart, but the hand that's on the belly is going to reach behind you, palm facing backwards, and we're going to start just a little glide. So you're going to start by just gliding the hand in and out just a little bit. So you might be at the low back or upper low back area, just gliding the hand in and out. And then as you start to catch a little bit of gumminess in the shoulder, see if you can slide that hand upward just a little bit. So now you're gliding it up towards the shoulder blades. So we're just going to start to find a little bit of reach up into that space between the shoulder blades. Take 1 or 2 more glides up into that space. And then pause at the depth of it. So as far up as you can reach, pause there for a moment, and then just kind of tune into the front of the heart space, back of your heart space. Close your eyes down, take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. And then we're going to release and switch. So release that hand from behind you, shake it out if you need to, stack that hand on top of the heart, and we're going to switch. So the other hand is going to flip palm facing backwards and start with that low position and just glide in and out. So we're just trying to make a little gumminess in the shoulders, create a little space in the shoulder. And then once you feel like you've got a little warmth going on there, start to glide the hand up a little further. So now we're trying to reach the fingers up into that space between the shoulder blades. And don't worry if you can't reach there. We're just making that a goalpost that we're reaching towards. Does not matter if you actually get there. And then once you feel like you've got a little bit of extra gumminess in the shoulders, to the point or your edge. So reach the hand up just as far as your hand goes without too much effort or without straining in the shoulder. And then once you feel like you're there, notice the front of your heart space, notice the back of your heart space. Eyes closed down, take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Open your eyes, release that back hand, give it a little shake if you need to. And then both hands are just going to find the knees for a gentle handhold. And we're going to start with the head and the neck. So as you inhale, lift your chin up towards the sky. Exhale, tuck your chin down towards your chest and try to keep your shoulders down. Inhale as you lift your chin up. Exhale to tuck your chin down. Inhale, lift your chin up and hold here. Take 1 extra cycle of breath. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, tuck your chin down to your chest. Stay here. Take an extra cycle of breath. And then on your inhale, bring your head up to that neutral position. And we're going to just take a couple of gentle turns of the head side to side. Awesome. 1 more turn of your head side to side. And then bring your head back to center. Left hand's going to touch down to the ground. Right hand's going to reach up. Take a gentle side bend. Lift up just a little bit. And then take that side bend again. So we're going to stay on this side for 3 cycles. Lift up just a little bit. Come back to that side bend. And then maybe I lost count, but take it 1 more time and then sink into that side bend. Draw that top thumb back, gaze up towards the ceiling. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. Lift up and take it over to the other side. Touch your hand down, reach your hand up alongside your ear. Take a gentle side bend. Lift up just a little bit. Take that gentle side bend. Lift up just a little bit. Nice. Gentle side bend. Lift up just a little bit, and then this time sink into that side bend just as much as feels good. Draw that top thumb back, maybe look up towards the ceiling. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Beautiful. And then lift up. We're going to take it right into seated twist. So right hand's going to find the left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale and get nice and tall. Release your twist and take it over to the other side. Catch your handhold. Inhale and get nice and tall. Beautiful. Release back to center. Lean back into your sits bones. Swing your legs out in front of you. And then with a super generous bend of the knees, we're going to lean back into the palms just a little bit to create a little space through the front of the body. And then rock your knees a little bit side to side. So hopefully we're finding a little bit of movement through the hips and a little massage to the glutes. And then just tune in here for a moment and notice, how do your hips feel? How do your knees feel? How do your ankles feel? And how does your low back feel? One more rock of the knees side to side, and then we're going to swing our legs into a deer position. So swing your legs out and around to one side. So one leg is going to be in front of you, one leg off to the side, and then feel free to adjust anything that you need to. And here's one of those positions where you might find hips a little uneven. So if you do find one hip is super elevated, you might choose to put a block or a blanket under that elevated hip. But if all's feeling pretty level and you're feeling pretty good, we're going to take a gentle fold to start. So walk yourself out just to a light depth. So not to your edge, but just to a position where you can really find some softness. Let your elbows drop down. Take one nice big breath. Beautiful. And then walk yourself back up to that upright position, and we're going to rotate. So the leg that's in front of you, we're going to rotate towards that leg. Let your hands find the floor there. Bend your elbows, lean your heart forward just a little bit, and then push into your hands, lift your heart back up. The hand that's, or the leg that's on the side, now that hand's going to touch down to the ground. Take a gentle side bend. Awesome. And then we're going to get a little fluid with this. So we'll release, twist over to the other side, let your heart drop down. Lift back up, rotate your heart to center, and then find that side bend again. Awesome. Release, find that light twist, let your heart drop down. Lift back up, release, and find that side bend. Lovely. And now we're going to come back to that fold, and this time you're going to go to your edge. So you're going to walk yourself out to a depth that feels nice to your body, something that you can elongate the arms, soften through the back of the body. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. And then when you're ready, come up nice and slow and controlled. Take your time. And then we're going to lean back into the sit bones so we can swing the legs out in front, palms behind you so you can lean into those hands. Rock your knees a little side to side just to loosen up anything you may have come across. And then when you're ready, we're going to swing the legs to the other side. So setting up that deer position, give yourself a second, make sure everything feels good. If you're using a prop, take the time to find your way there. And then once you feel like you're in a good position, walk yourself out to a light fold, just to the point where maybe you can drop your elbows down, soften, notice the back of your body, maybe notice your hips and your knees. Cool. And then when you're ready, lift up nice and slow and controlled. And then we're going to take that rotation. So rotating towards that front leg, lean your heart forward just a little bit, lift up, and then that hand's going to find that side leg, find your side bend. Beautiful. Take it all the way over to the other side, find that little rotation, lean your heart forward, lift up, and find your side bend. Beautiful. Rotate to the side, lean your heart forward. Lift up, take your side bend. Cool. And then as you lift up, we're going to come back to that deer seat fold, and we're going to walk it out to your edge. So walk out as far as feels comfortable. Now a little length in the arms. And then once you found your edge, soften. Soften through the back of your body, soften the back of your neck. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. And then when you're ready, come up nice and slow, walk your hands up and in. We're going to lean back into the sit bones, swing your legs out in front of you. And now we're going to take it into a little bit of a seated ragdoll. So step your feet. So they're fairly wide, nice, super generous bend in the knees, lift your belly, lift your chest, and then fold yourself forward. Catch hold of your toes. Notice the breath in the back of the body. Notice the breath in the back of your ribs and your shoulder blades. Take a nice, generous inhale. Nice, slow exhale. 2 more cycles of breath. Cool. And then when you're ready, come up nice and slow. We're going to extend the right leg nice and long. Left leg is going to bend like you're taking your left leg into tree pose position. A slight bend in that right knee. Lift up. Think belly up and over as you exhale. Reach towards your foot. And then we're going to come up nice and slow, pulling the abdominal muscles in. Lean back into your sit bones. Let your hands come behind you. Switch your legs. Right leg comes in, left leg extends out, a little micro bend in that left leg. Reach up, think belly up and over. Exhale, reach towards your foot. Beautiful. Come up nice and slow and controlled. And now we're going to spin both legs around so that we find our way into a tabletop position. So as you come onto all fours, take your time. Check with your knees if you need to double stack your mat or do anything that is a comfort care for your wrist or your knees, take a second to do that. And then once you feel like you're there, pause in your tabletop position. We're going to find a little bit of stability here. So spread your fingers nice and wide, index fingers pointing to the top of the mat. And then once you found that nice spread of the hands, push the floor away from you, broaden your shoulders slightly, and draw the front body up a little bit. So think about drawing the abdominal muscles up towards the spine. Ribs are going to draw in towards each other. So we find that nice, stable, sturdy center. Gaze down at the floor, take a big conscious breath here. Just a nice, generous inhale, fill your lungs up. Slow but natural exhale. Beautiful. From here, curl both sets of toes under, pull your butt back to your heels, and then rock yourself forward, bring your shoulders slightly past your wrist. And then as you come back, can you find that stability in your center? Still keep that belly pulling upward, pull your butt back to your heels. Bring it forward and bring your shoulders slightly past your wrist. Beautiful. Pull your butt back to your heels, belly nice and stable. Bring it forward, shoulders slightly past the wrist. And now we're going to pull the butt back to the heels and stay there. Take 3 cycles of breath just to get a little stretch to the toes and the bottoms of the feet. Take 1 more breath. And then when you're ready, come forward, release your toes. We're going to pick the right hand up, rotate the right hand. So fingertips are going to point towards the right knee. Press your palm into the ground. Notice that little stretch in your wrist. Take a nice big breath. And then if it feels good, you're going to pull the hips back, peel the palm away from the floor. So you get that stretch in the wrist, the palm, the fingers. And then once you come back as far as you can, release that hand, give your fingers a little wiggle, reset that hand down on the mat and pick up the other hand. Left hand's going to pick up, rotate your fingers towards your knee, press your palm. You might be good there. That might be enough. But if it feels good to do so, now you're going to pull the hips back, peel the palm up, all the way back till you get all the way to the fingertips, and then release, wriggle your fingers and come back to your tabletop position. Beautiful. Right hand's going to reach up nice and high. We're going to thread the needle just 1 time. So thread that hand through and underneath, your right shoulder to the ground. Press into your left palm a little bit so the left shoulder draws back. Take a nice big inhale. Slow exhale. And then press into your left palm to lift you back up into your tabletop position. And we'll take it right to the other side. Left hand's going to reach up nice and high. Thread that left hand through and underneath, left ear, left shoulder to the ground. Press into your right hand so the right shoulder draws up just a little bit. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then press into that right hand to lift you back up into tabletop position. And we'll move right into puppy pose. Walk your hands towards the top edge of your mat. Arms as wide as feels right to you. So you create the space in your shoulders that feels appropriate. And then let your head drop down. Take 3 nice big breaths here. Beautiful. When you're ready, nice and easy, walk it back up to that tabletop position. Now we're going to step the right foot forward for a 90-90 lunge. So we're going to step the foot forward, come up to a high position with the torso, but then rearrange your legs as needed. So we want to really find that 90-90 position. And then bring your hands, 1 hand to the low belly, 1 hand to the tailbone. And then we're going to just do a little bit of checking in. So we're going to turn the tailbone down and then release like you're pushing your tailbone back towards your heel. Turn your tailbone down. And then release, so your tailbone comes back toward your heel just a little bit. Nice. And then turn your tailbone down, and this time we're going to hold that position. Keep the tailbone drawing down. Hopefully here you're finding a little sensation through the front of the left hip or where your left front pocket would be. And then keep and maintain that position. Release your hands. Right hand's going to come to the hip. Left hand's going to reach up alongside your ear. Keep that tailbone drawing down. Lean over to the right. Take a nice big breath. Slow breath out. Lift up, and then we're going to keep that tailbone drawing down, but now add a little rotation. So left hand's going to find the outer edge of the right knee, rotate to the right. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then release back to center. Hands are going to find the ground. Step that foot back to your tabletop position. Take a cat-cow breath here. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail. Exhale to round your back. Inhale to a neutral spine, and now left foot's gonna step forward, and we're gonna set up that 90-90 lunge to the other side. So first arrange your legs, lift your torso up once you feel like you're there. Cool. And then hand to the belly, hand to that low back area, draw the tailbone down and release. Draw your tailbone down and release. Draw the tailbone down and then hold that position. Left hand's gonna find the hip, right hand's gonna reach up alongside your ear, lean over to the left, but keep that tailbone drawing down. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Beautiful. Keep that tailbone drawing down as you lift up with control and then take it into a twist. Right hand's gonna reach across to that left knee, rotate to the left. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, release. Hands are going to find the ground. Step that left foot back to your tabletop position. Take a cat-cow here. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail. Exhale to round your back. Inhale to a neutral spine, big toes together, knees to the outer edges of your mat. Take it back to extended child's pose. Pull your butt back to your heels. Take one deep breath here. Elbows are going to find the ground, prayer hands behind the head. And then once you found your way there, take one nice big inhale. Slow exhale. Release your hands out nice and long, and then lift your head slightly away from the ground so we can walk it over to the left. So we're going to take it into a little tadpole. Walk your hands over to the left. Stack your right hand on top of your left hand. Let your elbows drop down. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Walk through center, take it over and off to the other side. Left hand stacks on top of the right. Elbows get heavy, soften your forehead down. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Beautiful. Walk it back through center. And then on your next inhale, lift your butt away from your heels, walk your knees back in, find your way back into your tabletop position. Curl both sets of toes under, pull your butt back to your heels, keep the toes curled under, start to peel your knees up away from the floor, nice and strong through your legs, and then lift up into your downward facing dog and start to pedal out your legs, bending one knee and pressing into the opposite heel. Nice. Take one more pedal of each leg. And then when you're ready, look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to a folded ragdoll at the top of the mat. So feet about hip or shoulder distance apart, a super generous bend in the knees. Take a second to kind of wriggle around in your ribs, wriggle around in your spine, and then find that soft heaviness through the back of your neck. Take one good breath with your arms nice and heavy, and then we're going to interlace the fingers, and just assuming that there's no issues with your head or your neck. If you've got anything going on with your neck and you feel it's more beneficial to leave this off, you'll just leave your hands on the ground. But if it feels available, you're going to interlace your fingers and then catch hold of the back of the head and the base of the neck. So where the neck meets the skull, you're going to get that little handhold there, and then let your elbows hug in a little tighter towards your head. And then let your elbows be nice and heavy. So we're just going to create a little traction here, allowing the weight of your hands and your head and your elbow to gently soften down towards the ground. Take one more breath. And then if you're holding onto the back of your head, go ahead and release your hands to the ground, release that interlace of the fingers, bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll up to a standing position. Take your time as you come up, roll your shoulders up to your ears, roll them around down and back, and then take two more good rolls of the shoulders just to kind of mush out that space between the shoulder blades. And then find your mountain pose right away. Toes and knees pointing forward, anchor into your feet, lift up through the top of your head, and then see here, if your butt is sticking way out, draw your tailbone just slightly. So imagine that you're pulling your front hip points in towards each other, pulling your ribs in towards each other, so you find a nice stability in your center. And then once you feel like you've found that stability in your center, reach up just a little bit further through the crown of your head. Take a nice deep breath here, nice and strong in your stance. Awesome. When you're ready, soften that up just a little bit so you have plenty of freedom to move. Inhale, raise your arms up and look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to interlace the fingers, push the palms down. Glide the shoulders down, create some space for the shoulder blades. Soften your elbows just a little bit to bring the arms up in front of the chest. Create that space again for the shoulders and then press the palms forward. Take a nice big breath. Soften your elbows a little bit, bring the arms up and overhead, make space for the shoulders. And then once you feel like you found it, press the palms up and overhead. Awesome. And then unlace your fingers, wriggle your fingers as you float your hands down and come back to that mountain pose. Nice and anchored in your feet, lifting up through the top of your head. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, bend your knees, hinge from your waist, fold down to the ground. Inhale to a half forward fold, hands side to the shins. Keep that length in your spine, bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down into your fold, bend your knees a lot. Pull your abdominal muscles in, roll up through your spine, one vertebrae at a time. Roll your shoulders around, down and back. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. This time, press firm into your feet. Inhale and sweep your arms all the way up and overhead. Hands to heart center. Right hand down at your side. Left hand's going to reach up alongside your ear. Take a gentle side bend here. Switch over to the other side. Left hand down, right hand reaches up. Side bend over to the left. Lift back up, both hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers here. Draw the knuckles down. Open through the heart space. Open through the shoulders and the collarbones. Lift your chin. Take a nice big breath in. Slow breath out. Beautiful. And then we're going to release the interlace of the fingers. Right palm facing backwards is going to slide up in between the shoulder blades. Left hand is going to reach up. And so we're just going to find our spacing here just to tune in and notice how our cow face arms feel in this upright position. When you're ready, release. And we're going to switch to the other side. Left palm facing backwards. Slide that hand up in between the shoulder blades. Right hand reaches back. Notice your space here. Take a nice big breath. And then release. Both hands come down at your side. Find your mountain pose again. Nice. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Knees bent or straight, whatever feels good to you here. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Step the right leg back, a 90-90 lunge. So we're just going to bring that knee right down to the ground. Set yourself up. Lift your torso away from the thighs. Both arms are going to reach up. Draw the tailbone down. Beautiful. Lift your chest. Lift your gaze. Take a nice big breath. And we're going to release into a twist. So left hand's going to find the hip. Right hand's going to reach over and across, twist to the left, take a nice big breath. Beautiful. Unwind, hands to the ground. And now we're going to step that front leg back to downward facing dog. So curl the back toes under, slip that front leg back, pause in your down dog, take a breath. And then we're going to bring the knees down, bring the butt back to the heels, drop your elbows down, glide your heart forward, lift up into a nice low cobra. And then when you're ready, power up to a plank. Take it up to downward facing dog. Beautiful. Look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center. Hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, left leg back to that 90-90 lunge. So you're just going to step that foot back slightly, bring the knee down to the ground, lift your torso away, arms extend up, tailbone draws down as you lift your chest, lift your gaze. Beautiful. And then rotate to the right. Left hand's going to find the right knee, right hand finds the hip. Find that nice rotation that works good for you. Nice, stable, strong legs. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, release. Hands are going to find the ground. And we're going to step that front leg back to downward facing dog. So curl the back toes under, pick your knee up, slide that foot back, find your down dog. And then from that down dog position, bend your knees, bring your butt back to your heels, drop your elbows down, slide your heart forward, come forward into your version of cobra that works good for you. And then when you're ready, find your way up to a plank. Beautiful. Exhale up to down dog. Look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center, press your palms together, elbows nice and wide. Shift your weight over to your left foot. Pick your right knee up just slightly. Notice where your balance is at. Set that foot down, shift your weight over to your right foot. Pick your left knee up just slightly. And release that foot down, come back to mountain pose. Nice. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Now we're going to step the right leg back to a low lunge. You can step that foot back a little bit farther if that feels comfortable to your body. Bring the knee down, back toes tucked or release, totally up to you. Lift your torso away from that front thigh. Lift your arms up. Take a nice big breath. Take this into a twist. Right hand's going to reach over to that left knee, left hand to the hip, rotate to the left, take a breath. Awesome. Release. Hands are going to frame the front foot. Take 1/2 splits here. Pull the hips back, peel the front toes up. Lovely. Rock yourself forward, curl your back toes under, pick your back knee up. Right hand's going to stay down. Left hand's going to reach up for a little twist. Left hand down, plant your palms, step back to plank. Pause in your plank for a moment, nice and strong. So find that sensation again of pushing the floor away, broaden your shoulders, gaze down at the floor. Awesome. Bring your knees down, rotate the eyes of your elbows, hug your elbows into your ribs, lower with control onto your belly. Inhale up to cobra just as high as you like. Exhale, find your way up to downward facing dog. So you might choose to take it through a table, or you might choose to lift right up from there. Look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center. Keep those palms together, keep the elbows wide. Shift your weight over to your left foot, pick your right knee up. And now from here, we're just gonna lift a little higher, nice and strong through the foot. Push your heel forward. Take one good breath. Bend the knee, lift it up, set it down, shift your weight onto your right foot, pick your left knee up, flex your foot, push your heel forward nice and strong, bend the knee, lift it up, set it down, find your mountain pose. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, left leg back to that low lunge. So you step that foot back to a depth that works good for you now. Bring the knee down, release the toes or keep them tucked, totally up to you. Inhale, lift your arms up, lift the torso away from the thigh, lift your gaze. Cool, and then take it into a twist. Left hand's gonna find the right knee, right hand comes to the hip, rotate to the right. Beautiful. Release. Hands are going to frame the front foot, 1/2 splits here. Pull the hips back, peel the toes up, but keep a micro bend in that knee so you're not yanking against the hamstring too much. Awesome. Rock forward, curl the back toes under, lift the back knee up. Left hand stays down, right hand reaches for a twist. Release that right hand down, plant the palm, step back to plank, pause in plank. Broaden the shoulders, spread your fingers wide. Nice long neck, so we're gazing down into that space between the thumbs. For a moment here, just push into your heels and imagine you're pulling your hip bones and your ribs in towards each other so you feel your belly fire up. Take one more breath. Wonderful. Bring your knees down, rotate the eyes of your elbows, hug elbows into ribs, lower with control. Inhale up to cobra just as high as you like. Exhale up to down dog or through table to down dog. Look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center, press your palms together, elbows nice and wide. Shift your weight over to your left foot. Pick your right knee up. Flex the foot. Kick the foot forward, nice and strong. Lift the leg just slightly higher if you can. And then release. Bend that knee, set it down. Shift your weight over to your right foot. Pick your left knee up. Flex the foot. Push the heel forward. Nice and strong. See if you can lift that leg just a little bit higher. Beautiful. Soften. Bend the knee. Release. Bring it down. Let your hands come down at your sides. Nice. And now we're going to come back to that position with our cow face arms, but this time we're going to go a little bit deeper. So if you want that little handhold or that little grasp, you're going to take your strap into your left hand, drop the strap down behind you, reach your right hand back, palm facing backwards, and then you're just going to kind of walk your hands together to a position that feels good and sustainable for you. Once you feel like you've got your hands in a good position, soften your knees a little bit. We're going to take this into a little fold. Hinge from your waist, fold over, keep that handhold on your strap or keep that clasp of your hands, whichever works better for you. Let that top elbow get nice and heavy. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. Soft through your knees, lift up through the top of your head. Let that top elbow come up. And then when you're ready, release, and we're going to take it to the other side. So take that strap, if you're using it, into your other hand, drop it down the back, left palm facing backwards, walk your hands together to a distance that works good for you. And then once you've found that, soften your knees, hinge from your waist, fold over, let your top elbow get nice and heavy. Beautiful. Lift up through the top of your head. Let your elbow come up with you. And then we're going to release both hands behind the back. So if you've got a lot of flexibility in the shoulders, you might choose to just interlace the fingers. And then if you've got tighter shoulders like I do, you might find to make a space for yourself here. So walk your hands out to a comfortable distance so that your arms can move pretty freely away from the back of your body. Once you feel like you've got it, bend your knees, fold yourself over, let your hands fall away from your back. Nice. And then relax your hands towards your low back, bend your knees a lot, lift from the top of your head, let your heart follow, come up nice and slow. And then if you are going to use your strap for your cow face pose when we come to the back edge of your mat, just toss your strap back there so you'll have access to it once we find our way to the back end of your mat. And then come back to your mountain pose for a second. Anchor into your feet, lift up through the top of your head. Pause for a moment, let your shoulders drop down. Notice your shoulders, notice your hands. Take a nice big breath. Inhale, arms up, hands meet chest, lifts as you look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, step both feet back to downward facing dog. We're going to take the right leg up into three-legged dog, but keep your shoulders square, keep your hips square. Your toes and your knees are pointing down towards the ground. And then we're going to bend and bring it into our tiger's pose. You're going to bend your left knee down to the ground as you bend your right leg, and the right knee is going to be straight out from the hip. Beautiful. And then once you've got yourself into that tabletop position or your tiger's pose, push your heel up towards the ceiling, strong through your back, lift your gaze, take one good breath. Soften the back a little bit, and now we're going to lift up back into that three-legged dog. So push into those back toes, lift the back knee up, straight up to the sky, release the right leg down. We're going to take it to the other side. Left leg is going to lift up, keep your shoulders square, keep your hips square. Lovely. And then bend and bring it back down into that tiger's pose. You're going to bend the right knee with control. Beautiful. Left leg is in that bent knee position. Push that heel up towards the sky, strong through your back, lift your chest, lift your gaze. Soften that position, lift back up into your three-legged dog. Push into those back toes, lift the back knee up. Lovely, release that left foot down, bend both knees, bring your knees down to the ground into your tabletop position. Take it into cow face prep pose. So we're gonna shoot the right leg straight out from the hip, swing your left toes over to the right side of your mat, tuck your right knee behind the left. Awesome, and then just make sure it feels like you're arranged in a good position. Pull your butt back towards your heels. Come forward a little bit. Keep your legs as they are. Pull your butt back to your heels, but turn your head to the right. Come forward as you rotate your head to that neutral position. Pull your butt back to your heels, turn your head to the left. Come forward as you rotate head to neutral. And now we're going to see if it feels okay to sit all the way back onto our butt. So if it's available, you're going to sit all the way back, and then you might need to rearrange your knees, anything that feels good. Left leg should be on top. So with the left leg on top, right hand is going to come on top in the back side. So if you like using your strap, we're going to take that strap into the right hand, drop it behind you, left hand palm facing backwards. You're going to walk those hands as close as feels available to you. Make sure it's a comfortable position, and then pause there for a moment and notice. Take a nice big breath. Slow breath out. Keep your arms in this position, and then we're just going to keep that nice lifted chest, hinge from your waist, lean your heart forward. Lift through that top elbow, come back up. We're going to take 2 more leans just like that. Keep that nice uplifted spine, lean your heart forward. Beautiful, lift up, make sure everything feels comfortable. Do that one more time. Lean your heart forward. Awesome, lift back up, unlace your arms. So if you're using your strap, go ahead and release it. Give your shoulders a little wiggle, a little shrug. And then we're gonna pop ourselves forward, coming back up so that we find our way into a tabletop position. Unwind your legs, bop your hips a little bit side to side, smooth out anything that you may have come across. And then we're going to set up to the other side. So left leg is going to reach out straight from the hip. Right toes are going to swing over to the left side of your mat. Tuck your left knee behind your right knee. So knees are stacked, toes pointing in opposite directions. Nice. Pull your butt back towards your heels. Keep your head in neutral. And then come forward. Pull your butt back to your heels. Turn your head to the left. Inhale as you come forward. Head comes to neutral. Pull your butt back to your heels, turn your head to the right. We take an exhale as we draw back. Inhale, come forward, head comes to neutral. Awesome. And then if it feels available, we're going to sit all the way back. So we're going to take that cow face pose to the other side. So as you come back, you might choose to rearrange your knees in any way that feels appropriate. And you may have already gone too far, and you might want to come back to that preparatory pose that might feel more comfortable. With the right leg on top, left hand is going to be on top. So grab your tool if you're using it, drop it behind the back. Right palm facing backwards, we re-grab the other end. Walk your hands to a comfortable position that works good for your shoulders. Upright through the torso, take a nice big breath. And then keep that nice upright position with the spine. Lean your heart forward. Nice long spine, lift yourself back up. Exhale as you lean your heart forward. Inhale to lift yourself back up. Exhale to lean your heart forward. Inhale to lift yourself back up. Nice. And then if you're holding your strap, go ahead and release it. Wriggle out your shoulders, wriggle out your fingers, anything that you may have come across, and then pop yourself forward into your tabletop position. Unwind your legs, bop your hips a little bit side to side. And Liz, it's time for you to call it a day. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. And when you're ready, everybody else, swing your legs out to one side, spin your legs around, send your legs out in front of you nice and long. Taking it right into Dandasana. So we're going to flex the feet. So feet are going to be nice and active. Hands right alongside the hips. Press into your palms. Find your nice tall spine. Shoulders down away from your ears. So everything's active here. Feet are active. Legs are active. Back of the body nice and active. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Beautiful. And then relax all of that. Wriggle out your wrists, wriggle out your fingers, take a nice big breath. Reach the arms up and overhead, legs as straight as possible for your body. Think up and over with the belly. Exhale, reach towards your feet. Does not matter if you touch your feet, but if you have just a little goalpost that you reach towards, that might just find your focus or your gaze to that point. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Beautiful. Now from here, we're going to swing our legs into that deer position again. So swing your legs, right leg in front, left leg out to the side. You're going to start there, see how that feels. Lean your heart forward just a little bit. And then if that feels good and you want a little bit more, you're going to slide that left leg all the way back, rearrange yourself so that you find yourself into a pigeon position. But if pigeon is not a pose for you, because it is not a pose for everybody's knees or hips. So if you feel like you get there and you're like, no, thank you, then come back to that deer pose, or even flip over onto your backside and take a figure 4. Find a position that works good for your body, and then pause there and take 3 nice deep breaths. Beautiful. When you're ready, slowly and mindfully, if you're in that folded over position, start to lift yourself up. We're just going to lean over into that right hip. So if your left leg was extended out long, you're going to swing it back in through that deer position. Send both legs out in front of you. Flex the feet, think up and over, pull the belly up, exhale, reach toward your toes. Does not matter if you touch your toes. Inhale and come right back up. And then we're going to lean over to the left, swing your legs out to the right, reset your deer pose to start. See how that feels. Take a little fold. And then if it feels nice and you want that little bit more, you're going to slide that right leg back to rearrange so that you can find your pigeon position. But if pigeon doesn't work for you on this side, but it works on the other, maybe you opt for deer pose or flip over into your figure 4, whatever feels right in your body. Once you found your way there, take 3 nice deep breaths. Beautiful. When you're ready, slowly, gently, mindfully, if you're in that folded over position, walk yourself up, roll over onto that left hip so you can swing that right leg out and around. Both legs are going to come out in front of the body. Nice long legs. Flex the feet, pull up and over. Exhale, reach towards your feet. From here, inhale, reach through the fingertips, lift all the way up and overhead. Hands are going to come alongside the hips. We're going to slide the feet in, take a reverse table. Press into your feet, press into your palms. Fingertips are pointing toward your butt, but then you might rearrange your hands as needed. Lift your hips up just as high as feels comfortable. Make sure you stay safe in your shoulders, safe in your wrists. If you need to readjust anything, set your butt down for a moment, readjust your hands. But if all is feeling good, take one more breath here. Beautiful, slow and controlled. Release your butt back down to the ground. Keep that bent knee position. Hands are going to find the outsides of the thighs. We're going to push the hands in, push the thighs out. So we're going to create a little bit of strength in the legs. Keep that strong position. Pull your abdominal muscles in. Curl the tailbone under. Drag your hands nice and strong along the outer edges of your thighs. Lower your spine, slow and controlled. Beautiful. And then once your back finds the ground, give it a second. Just let your spine chill out for a second, rearrange your shoulder blades, rearrange your tailbone, walk your feet a little bit closer to your butt. So you're set up for a bridge position. So feet are hip width distance apart, heels nice and close to the butt. Bring your hands down alongside your hips, palms facing down. We're going to press into the backs of the arms. So shoulder heads are pressing down. Just make sure that your shoulder blades feel like they're in a good position to find that shape. And then once you feel like you're there, we're going to take 3 bridges here with a reverse breath. So inhale at the bottom. Exhale and lift your hips up nice and high. Inhale as you release down. Exhale to lift your hips up. Inhale to release down. Exhale, lift up, reach your knees past your toes. Just find a little extra length through the front of the hips. Inhale to release down, and then pull both knees up into your chest. Give yourself a light little squeeze, a gentle rock side to side. Beautiful. And then from here, we're going to take it into a half happy baby. So you're going to float your right foot up, see where you can catch hold. Maybe the blade edge of the foot, maybe the big toe, maybe the back of the thigh, whatever handhold works for you. And then release your left foot down. Start with a bent knee position with that left leg. Draw that right knee to the outsides of the ribs. So we're opening the hip up a little bit. See how that feels. And then if it feels good and available, you'll slide your left leg nice and long to the end of your mat. Take a nice deep inhale. Slow exhale. And then when you're ready, we're going to slide that left leg back up and in, pull it all the way up, releasing your handhold from the right foot and then switching your handhold to the left. So grabbing whatever works good for you. Maybe the blade edge, maybe the big toe, maybe the back of the thigh, and then swing that knee out to the outsides of the ribs, release your right foot down to the ground. Pause there for a moment, take a breath. And then if it feels good and available, slide the right leg nice and long. Awesome. From here, we're going to take it into a full happy baby. So if you can, keep your handhold on your left foot, slide your right leg back in, re-grab, still holding on to whatever handhold works good on that side, and then take both knees nice and wide. Take a moment to settle your tailbone down. So think about letting your tailbone get heavy, shoulder blades get heavy, let your knees get slightly heavy. And then once you found a good position with the hips, start to rock a little side to side. Notice how that feels in the low back. One more little rock side to side, and then we're going to take like we're taking little side lunges in the air. So reach your right leg out just as wide as feels good, but keep the left knee bent. Bring it back in, keep the right knee bent, reach your left leg out to the side just as wide as you can. Nice, bring it back in, both knees bent, and then we're going to take both legs out nice and wide as feels good to you. And then you're going to release your handhold from your feet, but keep that wide position with the legs. Let your tailbone sink down a little bit further, and then hands are going to find the inner thighs. You're just going to let the weight of your hands rest on your inner thighs. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Awesome. Catch hold of the outside of the thighs. Help both legs come together right into legs up the wall, but keep a soft micro bend in the knees. From here, let your hands just come out into anatomical position for a moment. Let your feet be soft. Let your legs be soft. Let your belly be soft. One more breath. And then from here, we're going to move into supine twist. You're going to bend your right knee, extend your left leg nice and long to the end of your mat. Take that right knee over and across the body. Let your right arm open out nice and wide. Take a deep inhale, fill your lungs up. Exhale and let your right shoulder soften. 2 more cycles of breath. Beautiful. When you're ready, pull the right knee into your chest, bring the left knee into meet. We're going to hold on to the left knee, send the right leg nice and long, supine twist right over to the other side. Bring that left knee over and across the body. Left arm opens out nice and wide. Take a big inhale, fill your lungs up. And then as you exhale, let your left shoulder get soft and heavy. 2 more cycles of breath. When you're ready, pull the left knee into your chest, bring the right knee into meet, and then one more just active position before we start to find our way to Shavasana. So hands are going to hold on tight to the knees are going to push into the hands are going to resist. So arms are strong, legs are strong. Feel that nice little bit of action in the back of the body. Nice little bit of action in the arms, nice little bit of action in the legs. Take one more breath. And then as you exhale, soften, gently draw the legs in. And then release your feet down to the ground. Pause for a moment and do a little check-in, and then ask yourself where would be your best Shavasana. And then if you're in a cold space, maybe put your socks on, put your sweater on, tuck yourself in with a blanket. Do all those little comfort care things so that when you come out of your Shavasana, you're not cold and stiff. Nice. And then once you feel like you've got yourself kind of tucked in, then just ask your body, where would be your best Shavasana this morning? Would it feel good to come to constructive rest, which can be super supportive to the low back? Would it feel good to take that more traditional shape and walk your legs long? Would it feel good to come to reclined cobbler's pose to create a little bit more space in the hips? And for reclined cobbler's pose in this Shavasana position, I do like to recommend that you tuck some pillows or your blanket underneath your hips so you're not drawing too deep into that position and creating a little bit of pull on the ligaments and on the SI. So just make sure that feels like it's a good position and you feel supported. And then once you found your way into a nice comfortable position, rearrange your shoulders, rearrange your head and your neck, make sure everything feels good. And then just invite a soft heaviness into your body. Soften your breath. Start to bring your awareness back into your body. Gently wake up your fingers and wake up your toes. Invite a deeper breath into your body as you start to reawaken, and then just invite some gentle movement in wherever feels the best to you. And then once you feel like you've got your limbs waking up, maybe take a big good morning stretch like a yawn. Stretch your arms up and overhead, reach your legs nice and long. If you've got a blanket on, you might choose to take this moment to just kind of put it off to the side. And then when you feel ready, take a nice big breath, stretch through the fingers, stretch through the toes. And then at your own pace, start to release and find your way up to a comfortable seated position, maybe coming up to Sukhasana or any other seat that lets you sit up nice and tall. Nice. And then as you come up to your seated position, we're just going to take a little lymphatic movement to finish our practice. So palms together, we're just going to fire up the palms a little bit, get them nice and warm. And then once you feel like your palms are pretty warm, we're going to open them up like a book, reach them up and overhead, touch the space between the shoulder blades, gently glide your hands towards your heart, flick your hands out, and then bring it back together. Clap your hands together, fire up your palms. Open your hands up like a book, reach them up and overhead, touch the space between the shoulder blades, gently glide them towards your heart, flick them out, and then bring them back together. Fire up your palms, get them nice and good and hot. Take a little extra time here just to create a bit of warmth in those palms. And then once you feel like they're nice and warm, open them up, reach them up and overhead, touch the space between your shoulders, gently glide them towards the heart, flick them out. And then bring your prayer hands to heart center at Anjali Mudra, bow your head to your heart. Breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and for all of your hard work. And breathe in a little extra love and gratitude that you can carry with you through the rest of your day and share with everyone you see. And when you feel ready, gently lift up through the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy, happy Thursday.